Well, brethren, thank you to those of you who were remembering us while we were away at the Banner of Truth Ministers Conference last week. It was really spiritually enriching, and hopefully, by God's grace, those of us who were there will take on board what we learned, and that these things will help us to improve in our service of the Lord. Coming to our daily devotions, we're still in Psalm 25, and I want us to think just about one verse today, and that's verse 15. That verse reads as follows in the ESV translation: My eyes are ever towards the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. Now, I'm not at all into trapping animals. I'm sure in rural communities, some people do set soft net traps, as they're called. These serve to secure and hold targeted animals, usually animals that destroy or damage crops or maybe other animals. What happens is the net entangles its prey, maybe a fox or a rabbit or whatever, and the prey gets completely ensnared, entangled in the cords of the net. And the more the prey struggles, the more entangled it usually becomes. And once caught, the only hope of escape is for someone from outside to come and rescue the animal. Psalm 25, verse 15, the psalmist speaks of his feet being in a net. It's a picture of being trapped, held fast by the circumstances of life from which he cannot extricate himself. He feels like a fox or a rabbit completely entangled in netting. And the more he struggles and tries to free himself, the more entangled he feels himself to be. The psalmist realizes that he's not going to be able to change what has happened, to free himself from the circumstances he's in. And so he looks for help, for someone to come and deliver him out of the net. And the one to whom he looks, of course, is God. My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for he will pluck my feet out of the net. From time to time, I have gone deep sea fishing with friends. And one of the frustrations in fishing out in the sea is knowing that, or having your hooks and your line become entangled with one or with a number of the other lines and hooks of people who are also fishing on the boat. Once your line becomes entangled, it's very difficult to untangle it. And sometimes I or some of the other people on the boat will try to sort out the mess of entangled lines and hooks, but it only serves to make things worse. Usually the only person who can really sort it out is the captain of the boat. He has the knowledge, he has the experience, he has the skill to free the lines that are entangled. When it comes to the circumstances of life, sometimes we can feel trapped, snared, entangled by the circumstances in life that we're facing. We feel as though we're in a net that we cannot get out of. We're never going to be freed. It may be the entanglement of a bad marriage. It could be the entanglement of bad relationships with other members of our family, be that our children, our siblings, or whoever. It could be entanglement as a result of problems in the church, entanglement of sickness or disease, whether that's in relation to oneself or to a loved one. Maybe it's the entanglement of financial stress and difficulty. And the more we try to change things, the more entangled things become. It is only the Lord who can free us. We need to look to the Lord and to seek His help and His grace. There are other entanglements in life. Sometimes we can become entangled in the net of our own sins, whether that's the sin of envy or pride, or maybe of deceit. Maybe we're caught up in the net of lust or covetousness or selfishness. The sins of our lives can entangle us, and sometimes we can struggle to try and get out, only to find that we actually are becoming more and more tied up. It is to the Lord that we're to look for help, for deliverance from all the net entanglements of life. The writer of the Hebrews talks about the sin that so easily entangles us. Yes, we are responsible for abandoning such sin, but the reality is that we cannot do it by ourselves. We need God to come and to free us, to give us His grace, so that ultimately we are freed from the bondage of such sins. So remember Psalm 25 and verse 15. My eyes are ever toward the Lord, for He will pluck my feet out of the net. May God use these thoughts to help us in our Christian lives. Every blessing.